there to upset the apple carts. It'll be Ferrer to get us underway. He's had a great season this year. A couple of wins in Auckland and Buenos Aires, but a finalist on 7 other occasions. What's he improved specifically within his overall game plan this season, Robbie?
I think he's playing a little more aggressive, certainly on the hard courts. He's coming in a bit more. The backhand and the line's improved as well. Of course, we know that he likes the pattern of play where he keeps the backhand cross-court. But I think he's found the balance really well between going cross-court. He manages his game so well, and you know, that's just a fine-tuning. Season after season, you just learn more about your game. And I think he's got a very good tennis IQ in that department.
That's good ball striking.
And you know, being the player that he is, even though he's had 7 runner-up finishes, there's a few of those he probably thinks got away from him. You know, perhaps in Stockholm, losing to Dimitrov, that was a match he probably would feel that he should win. What about in Valencia, playing in front of his home fans, losing to Eugenie? So he perhaps could have turned those losses into wins and have had a better record.
Good tennis from Nadal, to be nice and early, dictating play, and anything is dropped short and central in that attackable zone. Yeah, he was saying in Valencia a couple of weeks ago that he really feels the quality of his first serve has improved this season. He gets a few more cheap points, or he can dominate the rally more when it goes in. And needs a first serve here. That's a superb return off a decent serve, and Nadal moving the ball around. A right-hander serve, he does it very well, even against the best in the business. Interesting to see how he deals with that Nadal slice today.
That's the key against Rafael. That shot right there. Yeah, just to lean on that backhand. Take it early. Novak does it better than anyone when he comes up against the Spaniard. But go to the forehand to open up the backhand and step up the court, because you know he likes to defend cross-court with the forehand. Patterns of play. That's what tennis is all about, being one step ahead of your opponent, understanding that, the most likely shot that he's going to play.
13-15.
If you're playing against Ferrer, Robbie, how can you attack him? What do you try and break down if you're getting involved in these baseline rallies with him? What's your game plan?
It's tough to break him down, first of all. But for me, the key is to try and attack the backhand. You've got to come forward against the guy. There's a reason why he's number 3 in the world, Jose. Because he's tough to break down.
I didn't say it was easy.
Got to push the envelope. It's not easy for me to give you an answer. I'm trying to think what I'd do against him. I'd use a lot of slice as well.
Well, that was what I was going to say. When I watched him lose to Mikhail Yuzhny in the final of Valencia a couple of weeks ago, Yuzhny's slice backhand worked perfectly. It was played on a court like this. Anything short and low, Ferrer didn't like it at all. He didn't know what to do with that ball. He didn't want to come in. It's not his natural game plan, and he didn't like it. Of course, it's not as much of an option for Nadal. He doesn't have as good a slice backhand, perhaps, as someone like Yuzhny.
I thought you were going to say like you. You did ask me what I would do against him. But that's key, that shot. You've got to keep it low to his backhand. As you say, bring him in with a short slice. He's so good when the ball's up around shoulder height.
That's a good little forehand from Ferrer. Not enough on the approach from Nadal. And
good game. That was the opening game of the match. And thereafter, he was rock solid. Lost the first set, but won the next 2 comfortably.
And today he won the toss, elected to serve initially, as opposed to being put into bat by Nadal. He's dressing appropriately for these championships, isn't he, Nadal? Both players play similarly from the back of the court in that they like to move their opponents around. If you go to any Spanish academy, watch any of their coaches training the juniors, they like to do the drill, hit one to one side, one to the other. Move your opponent with each and every shot until you draw an error from them. That's a lovely little backhand. That's where they're all in great shape. They're all tough mentally because they're all taught to play in very similar fashion.
Patterns of play are so well grooved, and of course they don't just have the baskets there of balls. They wheel out those shopping trolleys of them. You've got to do 400-500 at a time. No respite.
was a nice little slice from Nadal there, but he went to the forehand rather than the backhand. Ferrer dealt with it well.
14-30.
As a tactic, you are trying to vary the play a little bit, draw your opponent off the baseline, so there's nothing wrong with hitting the drop shot, but you always want to give it enough air to at least make it over the net, especially early on in a match. It's Carlos Moya. Carlos Moya is the new Spanish Davis Cup captain, isn't he?
That's right.
Took over from Alex Correcha, I think.
Is it a tough job or is it an easy job?
It's double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
Easy in that team picks itself. You've got some great players to select, but you've got to win everything. It's like being manager of Real Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it has to help if Rafa's your best friend, doesn't it?
That's always an important shot for Nadal. If you can start to get that to forehand down.
Gracias.
He's got a good slice serve on him, Ferrer, and it's a shot that works well on this court. Ball stays nice and low, especially against the left-hander. Put that to good use. To keep the ball nice and deep, there's no question about that, but you don't press too much.
15-30.
Always got to get the balance right against Nadal, but if you're too passive, then you're not going to get anywhere.
It's always a fine balancing act, isn't it? push the envelope as much as you can, but not too much.
Let's start again.
15,
On
14.
those unforced errors, 9 in total, 7 of which have come off the forehand. 2 more break points for Nadal. It's 3 in a row. Ferrer will be kicking himself. So it's Nadal with a break midway through this opening set. Slender lead at 3-2.
First service.
Good tennis from Nadal. Good length initially off the backhand. Not allowing Ferrer to step too far up the court to dictate play. Loves that variation. They've got a right-hander's backhand 70, 80, 85% of the time, but then on a big point, look for that one out to the forehand. Both courts, juice and add. Building up a decent head of steam now. Try and find a way of stopping the rot. He's not missing by much. Definitely making too many errors. It's a very solid service game. At what stage of the match, Robbie, do you start fine-tuning your game plan? He's made a lot of unforced errors of late. He's lost control of the momentum. When do you start just bringing your targets in, or do you just have the belief that you will be able to start to execute a little better?
I think for Ferrer, he's probably thinking he's got to play a little bit better rather than fine-tune the game plan right now, because he's not playing great. Let's face it. You compare the performance in the opening 6 games here to how he played early on in Paris, it's poles apart. So he knows he can play better. And I think, you know, go down a set, and things still aren't going well, struggling early on in the second. That's when you maybe look to start to fine-tune your actual game plan. Okay, it's not working going to the backhand all the time today. Maybe I've got to go to the forehand a little bit more before then going back to the backhand.
It's more like it.
30-15.
Opened up the court beautifully with the forehand initially before making good use of all that additional acreage.
Again, forehand unforced, number 11 now.
30.
And it's not like he's missing by much. He's missing shots by 2 or 3 inches all the time. That's why I mentioned the targets. It's not like he's not hitting that shot well, or he's not hitting it out of the center of the frame.
83% of the time targeting the backhand of Rafa.
It's a good target, that one.
Aggressive, but still to a safe spot.
40-30.
Struggling big time. Behind that to first serve. He's only won 4 of 14 points, 29%. Almost like my maths grades in high school.
That's not good. Missed that final backhand. Struck the ball with real authority throughout the course of that rally. But Ferrer crucially gets the holds, but it's Nadal who leads. 4-3 opening set. DJ's finally upped his game. Action here. Of course, the only downside is that there's no Andy Murray. So we wish him well with his recovery after back surgery, and we hope to see him in action early doors next season. Cannot miss that. It's easier to make it.
15 left.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
He did all the hard work. But missing shots like that really does hurt the confidence. A sensible point that from Nadal. The only thing I was keeping an eye on there was just the target, where the ball landed. Each and every one of those ground strokes, it was so far inside the lines, but yet he's still able to move Ferrer around the court. So he's dictating play, but he's not taking any risks at all. He's still doing enough to eventually draw the error. High percentage tennis, but so effective. Good length. That's definitely where you can hurt Nadal, if you can keep the ball nice and deep.
30-15.
And Djokovic beats Nadal in the final in Beijing. That was one of the outstanding factors, just the length he was able to achieve, both on the return and then ground strokes throughout the rally. Just didn't allow Nadal at all to dictate play, and he was continually rushed into error. Could there be a case, Robbie, of Ferrer struggling with that burden of expectation? many people expecting him to beat Nadal again today, given what happened in Paris?
Not really. I don't think that would be the case. I think, you know, maybe within tennis circles we know he's got a better chance today, but I think the general perception would be no, that Nadal's the favourite here. That's too good. That's Nadal. That is relentless best.
Nadal leads 5 games.
Oh, it's a high percentage from what we're talking about, hitting aggressively to safe targets.
Love 15. Love 13.
Gotta be kidding me. How has he made that shot? And that's why you've got to be a great athlete to play this sport. Not only does he get there, but he does something incredible. Phenomenal. That's the only way to describe that. It takes a lot to get a smile out of that guy.
That's for sure.
Game of
Good set of tennis there from Nadal. Got off to a shaky start.
Safety love. Fourteen, 15.
Good movement from Ferrer. Often that can be off-putting for the server when you move up the court in an attempt to take the ball as early as you possibly can. The server sees that out of the corner of his eye and tends to try and do a little more with the serve than he would do normally. That can lead to faults. Oh, it's a sensational shot.
Maybe this time for a little bit of fine-tuning. Use that forehand up the line a bit more often. He's gone cross-court a lot. He's tried to break down the backhand. It hasn't happened yet. It's a good injection of pace. Keep Nadal off balance. He defends so well off that backhand side. I think slightly better than the forehand.
What a serve. So much work on that. It's only 106 miles an hour, so Ferrer's not beaten for speed there. He's beaten for accuracy and movement through the air and then off the court. What's Jimmy Anderson like?
Great serve.
Very intelligent. He's used that a couple of times today on both first and second serves, tying Ferrer up. So again, intelligent serving, coming off the back of a very intelligent and highly effective game. A lot of racket head speed, a lot of revs on the ball, but eventually drawing the error.
Allow 50. Rafael Nadal is challenging the ball on the left base. Ball was ball out.
Start, of course, I've chosen 4
15
as far as umpires are concerned for this week.
Is that the big 4?
It's the baby 4.
Speaking of the big 4, I was interested to read when the build up to this match. They were saying, you know, on a fantastic Tuesday here, we've got the big 3, Nadal, Djokovic and Federer. And I was just thinking, if you're Ferrer there, you're thinking, well, I'm world number 3. How come I'm not in that big 3 there?
Yep.
And of course, Federer has achieved so much in the game, but it's a typical bit of reporting, really, and how Ferrer is viewed within the game. It's so consistent, achieves so much, but he just not quite at the same level as the likes of Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, Murray. You know, he doesn't have the success at Grand Slam level.
Be interesting to see which of those guys has cost Ferrer the most amount of money throughout the course of his career. It's a fun discussion. I remember we used to have at Davis Cup ties. We're sitting around the dinner table at night talking about matchups.
It's a perfect example of what we've seen all afternoon. Ferrer missing with the forehand by a couple of inches, but it doesn't matter the margin with which you miss.
Rankings 7th most of all time.
The other 6, Robbie?
Of course, we're going to start at the top of the pile with Roger Federer, and you go to the likes.
You just took the easy route there, didn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Sampras.
Just playing yourself into form.
Yep. Little Connors, McEnroe.
Just made that.
Of course, my personal favourite, the one I grew up idolising, Bjorn Borg. 109 weeks for double B.
Don't forget about him.
Definitely wouldn't. Save the best for last there. Just overtaken on Agassi as Nadal, who spent 101 weeks. That's where Novak is right now, tie with Agassi.
Some serious legends of the game there, aren't there?
15.
Now, setting a break, sometimes you tend to think, well, job's been done. And subconsciously, you just tend to relax a little bit. You've got to fight against that. Keep the intensity nice and high. It's an important game, this, having just broken. There's that serve again. So sensible.
It swings into the right hip. You think you've gauged how far it is away from the body, but then there's so much spin on it, it suddenly swings in. And it's easy to get the timing mixed up.
Well, he hasn't made any adjustment as yet in terms of those targets. He's still going very close to the lines, and as a result, missing a lot. It's worth a gentle reminder that Nadal needs to win 2 matches in these group stages to secure season-ending world #1 ranking. Looking good so far. And of course, winners of the first 2 matches then play the second match in the group stages. The losers take one another on. And then, of course, they played the 3rd match. And it'll probably be this group that plays tomorrow.
I was surprised that the 2 highest ranked players in the group were playing each other first up. Is that normal? I don't remember that happening. I always thought it was the lowest.
Well, we got there in the end. It was a shaky service game by...
Too true.
A lot of work for Ferrer to do here. Love 3, second set. Okay, Robbie, well, I asked you initially, when would the change come? When would those targets be moved inside the lines? Another forehand that's missed by 6 inches. Why have we not seen a change? Does he believe, do you think, that there's no point in bringing the targets in because you're not going to beat Nadal by doing that?
I guess that's the one I want to see a bit more of now. I think it's not really a case of bringing the margins in, but changing things up now. I think he needs to go to the forehand a bit more because Nadal's backhand's been holding up really well today. And there you go with the inside-out forehand and the forehand up the line. Those shots are going to fire now. The other problem he's had today is he hasn't got good width in his backhand and he's gone cross-court, has he? It's very central. Needs a lot more angle instead of close to the sideline. Because it's really a nothing shot at the moment. He's not totally committed to it.
It's better tennis.
And you can have a look at the backhand placement of Ferrer so far. Look at those yellow balls. A lot of them just very central. Backing up the line's been okay. But the yellow balls cross-court, not nearly effective enough against Nadal. Hard to watch. Certainly not what he would have had in mind at the start of the match.
They keep plugging away, though. There's no question about that.
Advantage Ferrer.
Too easy. Yeah, just hit that one too short again. Not enough width. Pays the price. This guy covers the court so well. Plugs all the gaps.
Advantage Nadal.
Point for 4-love. Beautifully done. Right shot at the right time. It's more like it. Not a lot on that serve, right into the hitting zone. Nadal might have been trying to get that one a little more into the body, which is a serve that he's used well today. It's been highly effective, but that one just a little too short, a little too slow, only 91 miles an hour, so Ferrer had time there to give himself just enough room to be nice and aggressive with the return. Oh, lovely shot.
Takes it nice and early, that's the key. And of course, Nadal expecting something central towards his backhand again. One of the rare occasions that Ferrer's caught him out.
There's that serve again. Really good. So you have to talk about, you know, your general game plan and then what you're going to do to fine-tune it depending on who you're up against, and that's something that Nadal's done really well today. Rather than going wide, he knows and respects the quality of Ferrer's double-handed backhand return. He's gone much more into the body.
Penalty, 14.
There's that serve into the forehand again. Very intelligent. And it's very hard to give yourself enough room when you're trying to be aggressive with the ball sliding into your body all the time. That one there just hitting the top of the frame as he was trying to brush up the back of it, create the top spin.
Advantage Nadal. Game 9.
There it is again. It's good quality serving. It's executed.
15 left.
It's good serve. It's been tough for Ferrer's parents. It's never easy watching a loved one get beaten, but especially when you're very aware of the fact that they've underperformed and they haven't done themselves justice, and they can play a lot better, and that's certainly the case this afternoon. Still getting a lot of support, and that will certainly help. Those who know appreciate just how good a competitor Ferrer is and how good a season he's had.
5 games to 1.
But they'll too share his pain in that he hasn't been able to perform anywhere near as well as he would have wanted this afternoon. What about Nadal's performance today, Robbie?
I just think it's been solid. Nothing more than that. Initially, nervy start. But I think he's been made to look a little better by David not playing that well. Hasn't really had to get out of third or fourth gear at the best.
That's good tennis. I expected more of that this afternoon from Ferrer.
Yeah.
Much better. Okay, to come forward a little bit more.
Oh, yes. Beautiful volley.
How good was that? I love the way it throws down the angle, though. That's the key. Once again, pressing forward. Look how he just continues to go there. Keeps squeezing the gap. And just it's a stab volley, that's all it is. And doesn't always have to look pretty when you're in the forecourt.
2 break points. Good tennis. Ferrer saving his best for last. A couple of good games from the Spaniard. Set.
He's come in more in the last 2 games than he has the entire match. Shows that backing up line working so well. That's key. Can't give Nadal time to recover. He's the best in the business.
Witness. 30-15.
Nadal anxious now. to put the finishing touches on a very professional performance today.
Next, for service.
That's been the problem.
30, 40.
Too many shots that have been missed by the narrowest of margins. So 31 unforced errors now. Here's Nadal.
Wait.
Match point.
Thank you. Yes.
Such a shame. A phenomenal rally. Lovely variation from Nadal. And Ferrer in the end just put up to the task of staying with him.
Advantage Nadal.
Match point number 2.
Thank you.
It's a win that Nadal desperately wanted. He's well on his way now to claiming that season-ending World Team minutes for the loss of just 5.